have a fairly large collection of plants in my home. I have cacti, succulents, and broadleafed plants in various rooms in my home, and they provide me with a lot of satisfaction. The lithops, or stone cacti seeds that I planted recently, have produced tiny plants that I nurture and care for, giving them a spritz of water every morning after I get up. My voodoo lily plant has fully opened up, and I try to remember to rotate it regularly because it leans towards the sun and I want to keep it straight. How rewarding it is to nurture them and watch them thrive and grow because of the time I take to understand their needs and the care I provide them with. I really feel a connection to my plants. They are all individuals with individual needs that I must attune myself with. I wish more people would appreciate plants. There are some mornings when I don't feel motivated to get up and get going, but my plants and the care they need motivate me. This led me to think about the similar ideas expressed by dog lovers. People talk about dogs in the same way and sing their praises because they help motivate people with depression. But why not just get a plant that does the same thing? This led me to think that I would compare plants to dogs and the claimed benefits for both. I rejected that idea because I realized that I could easily fall into the trap of reinforcing faulty logic, as I described in my video, Global Catastrophe. Comparing cats with dogs, for example, helps support the type of faulty logic known as the fallacy of relative privation, usually expressed as not as bad as, or the appeal to worse problems. An example of that type of thinking is dogs only kill, on average, 45 people a year in the USA. But humans kill so many more, so dogs aren't so bad. If you want more information about the faulty logic of dog owners, see my video, Logical Fallacies and Tricks of Argument Used by Dog Worshippers. Dog worshippers love to provide lists of reasons why dogs are so awesome, or reasons why you need a dog, or what your dog does for you. As I've discussed before, most of these reasons are false, or are scraping the bottom of the barrel. A common reason for praising dogs is that they keep you fit, in the sense of providing exercise, as if you can't get exercise without a dog. Buy a bike, or a pair of hiking boots, or a new swimsuit, or a pair of skates. They all cost less than a dog, and require a lot less maintenance with fewer running costs. Take the stairs instead of an elevator. That costs nothing. The exercise that dog walking provides is of a very inferior type. It consists of a slow walk, stopping and starting at random times while the dog sniffs at things or lifts its leg. It may consist of you doing nothing while the dog runs around a park, beach, or playing field. It is a low-level, inferior type of exercise, guaranteed not to raise your heart rate or get you out of breath. Rather than providing exercise, a dog will prevent you from participating in any meaningful or health-giving activity. Another problem with such lists of why you need a dog is that they make claims for the dog as the active agent for change, when it is a passive observer. Dog owners will often talk about dogs helping them with their depression as if it actually did something. When dog owners write about coming out of a depressive period because of their dog, what actually happened was that they made the conscious decision and subsequent effort to invest time in their dog, It was themselves, not the dog, that acted to improve their mood. If they had decided to take up model making, or needlepoint, or landscape painting, or any other of thousands of activities, it would be they who were the agents of change, not the landscape painting or the needlepoint or whatever. So I do not want to compare dogs and plants in this way because of the false and magical claims made about dogs. I have discussed the downsides of dogs in many videos before, and almost all of these downsides are absent in plants. For example, the aggression, attacks, intrusion into personal space, noise, dander, and on and on. What is more productive is to look at what can be scientifically proven about caring for plants. And I will leave you to make your minds up which of the two activities would be more beneficial for the individual and for society, plant keeping or dog keeping. You decide. According to the Royal Horticultural Society, indoor foliage plants have the potential to reduce the presence of volatile organic compounds, or VOC contaminants, in the air, such as xylene, toluene, and benzene emitted from detergents, furnishings, paints, etc. The Society does urge caution as plant species differ in their abilities to filter these compounds. These contaminants contribute to what is called the sick building syndrome, symptoms of which include eye, nose, and throat irritation, headaches, fatigue and irritability, chest tightness and wheezing, and skin dryness and irritation. The Royal Horticultural Society reports the following psychological benefits of indoor plants. These are an improved mood, reduced stress levels, increased worker productivity, increased speed of reaction in a computer task, improved attention span, in some scientific studies, but not all, increased pain tolerance, for example, where plants were used in hospital settings. They report the physical benefits of indoor plants as including reduced blood pressure, reduced fatigue and headaches by 20 to 25% in one study. Patients in hospital rooms with plants reported decreased post-operative pain. Again, they urge caution in that the effects of specific plant species and cultivars has not been investigated, so the comparison of one type of plant over another is yet to be determined. The online magazine Healthline suggests 7 science-backed benefits of indoor plants. They suggest that plants can reduce stress, improve concentration, and boost productivity. They also claim that plants can be therapeutic, increasing feelings of well-being among people with depression, anxiety, dementia, and other conditions. The use of plant-based therapy is not some magical process emitting from the plants. Improvement in well-being comes from a variety of factors, such as satisfaction through work, the sharing of tasks, and interacting with others. This is very different from the claims that the mere presence of a dog brings about profound, magical, and inexplicable improvements in people. These are not emotional support plants. It is the human and the humans around them that bring about the improvements. As well as being emotionally or psychologically therapeutic, plants can also help you to recover more rapidly from illness. They may also improve your attitude to work and your commitment to your employer. The 7th advantage is that suggested by the Royal Horticultural Society. and that is the improvement of air quality inside the home. So far, I have concentrated on indoor plants, mainly as a convenient way of organizing my narrative, but outdoor plants play a very important part in human life. I have given up on outdoor gardening because of all the roaming dogs and cats that would dig and shit in my garden. It was very frustrating. I also am barked at by the neighbors' dogs every time I go out into my yard, which is very stressful and unpleasant. So, like I said, I have given up on outdoor gardening, which is very unfortunate because it is something I really enjoy and would enjoy if it weren't for the dogs. But as I was saying, outdoor plants play a very important part in human life. A teaching aide from the University of Florida summarizes it well in their workbook for students. They list the 5 common human uses of plants as food, fiber, shelter, fuel, and medicine. They tell us that plants and animals depend on each other for food, shelter, transportation, and protection. Using plants for landscaping improves appearance, reduces noise, increases privacy, and controls erosion. This gives the impression that plants are deserving of the title man's best friend. Outdoor gardening does provide you with exercise that will get your heart rate increased and will make you breathless, as anyone who has done an afternoon of digging will attest. Plants do have their downsides. Some plants are irritant or poisonous and deserve to be treated with caution. But as they are not mobile, you have to approach them and damage them or eat them. Some plants are difficult to cultivate and care for or require specific conditions for growth. But the indoor gardener can decide whether they want a challenge or an easy care option. Poorly cared for plants can develop mold or fungus and release spores into the atmosphere. Again, this is easily dealt with by proper and easy management. Cinnamon, which is a spice obtained from the inner bark of several tree species, contains cinnamaldehyde, which was demonstrated to have potent antifungal activities against a wide variety of fungi. Sprinkling powdered cinnamon on soil is a safe and effective way to protect plants, especially seedlings, which must be kept moist at all times, from fungal invasion. Plants kill mold. This is another human use for plants. Many non-indigenous plants can become pests and threaten indigenous plants. The Smithsonian Institute lists the top 6 invasive plants in the USA as purple loosestrife, Japanese honeysuckle, Japanese barberry, Norway maple, English ivy, and kudzu. Those of you who live outside the USA will be aware of the problems that invasive plants cause in your country. But the usual proposed solutions to the problem are not hampered by an aggressive, vocal, and influential trap-neuter release lobby. Kudzu does not have single-issue groups campaigning to persuade us that it is harmless, despite the evidence against it. It is important to look at the disadvantages or the downsides of plants, as well as their benefits. This is a balanced and rational approach, rather than the presentation of dogs as the only organism without faults. The future is plant inclusive and dog free.